What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles. You are rocking with Lyles Movie Files. Joining me, as always, is the little brother Jayce. How are you out there, bro? Shot.
Doing good. Doing good. It's a nice Wednesday. Let's get some podcasting.
Why not? Let's try it. Jay King, what's up with you, man?
I'm doing great, doing great. I hope everybody out there is too. I hope y'all are doing as wonderful as I am on this Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Glad to be here with
Indeed.
y'all.
And Big Gun, what's up with you, man?
What's good, y'all? How's everything? Everything's good on this end.
Chilling. All right, let's just jump all into it. So, yesterday, I watched No Time to Die. And it was a special screening so we could see it right when the world premiere was going on over in London. I really appreciate that. That was cool. So I was able to avoid all spoilers. I'm not going to spoil the major parts of this movie for you. I feel like it's a little bit more Spectre than fans will probably want to hear. But my full review is on loudsmoviefiles.com. Spoiler free, of course. I feel like after you guys watch it, I want to talk about it in spoiler detail because I have so many spoiler thoughts on this film. But since I can't talk about that, I did want to talk Bond. And there's so many Bond films. You know, I think it's really hilarious that they're going, this is the 25th Bond film. And I'm like, no, I have 26 on my list. That's because they don't count Never Say Never. But I count Never Say Never because Sean Connery is in it. And the Joker says, my name is Bond, James Bond. So it's on the list. So No Time to Die is the 26th film of the James Bond franchise. And I just decided we're going to play a little Bond Roulette. So I'm going to pull up a Bond film and y'all are going to tell me what you think about it. So you guys ready to play Bond Roulette? Let's do it. All right, first up. For Your Eyes Only. This is a Roger Moore film. And to me, this is his best one. He's coming right out gunning for payback because those jokers did something terrible. So he's looking for payback, revenge. He meets a Russian agent, and she also has a quest for revenge against a certain secret agent who likes his vodka shaken, not stirred. It's so much fun. Great bad guys. We see Jaws come up in this thing. It's definitely one of my favorite Bonds, and this is the one you show to people who hate on Roger Moore's Bond films. Who else wants in on For Your Eyes Only? Nobody, just me. I'm the only one that's seen this one. There's silence in the room.
Seen it. You're saying it's the best Roger Moore movie. That's like saying this is the best Thor movie. Sorry. Okay. It's not terrible, but you got to put it in context.
That is unmitigated, unnecessary hate.
Yeah, it was like multiple layers. Good job, Connor.
People hate on Roger Moore's Bond films, and I'm just like, why? They were set in the 70s, and I feel like people need to understand that context. Everything was wacky and goofy in the 70s, so you can't expect Bond films to be like something that you'd see in the 90s or 60s or 2000. It was a product of what was going on.
Well, all of them know kind of because I look at Connery, any Connery's Bond. By today's standard, Sean Connery's Bond would be a certified rapist.
A rapist. He also dresses in yellow face. I mean, he would. Sean Connery's Bond would have been canceled yesterday.
Yes, he would.
So many.
But he was a man. You know, he's machismo. He was a man. Hey,
why James Bond is a toxic hero?
He's a toxic man. His toxic masculinity. 3 no's means maybe.
So yeah, all right. So that's mine. Apparently, I'm the only one standing up for Roger Moore. Let's go to the next one.
I don't remember that one. So
that is my. I'm sorry, Jayce. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember that one, so I can't
put
say
that on your rewatch list.
That is my favorite Roger Moore Bond. That is my favorite Roger Moore Bond, just because it was of the time, and it had the cool car, the cool gadgetry, the villains of that movie is what made that movie to me. Roger Moore was playing Bond's his version of James Bond, but it was the villains and the action that made that movie for me, and made it his best Bond. Probably the most physical he was in all of those
man,
movies.
He was getting it in.
Am I right, Jeff?
It was like, because he had done a few at this point. It was like, oh, what's happening here? We got a brand new Roger Moore.
Yeah,
it's definitely good stuff. All right, next on the list, Thunderball. Who wants to go first? I will. I'm not going to start off with every one of these. Nobody. All right. So Thunderball is basically the film that Sean Connery remakes later on down the road for Never Say Never Again. I've watched, we're 70s kids, so we watched the Bond films from the 80s on. So for Jayce and me, we were like way out of order with our Bond films. We started with Never Say Never Again and View to a Kill, which are probably very low on Bond snob list of the best Bond films. So when I watched Thunderball for the first time, I was like, whoa, this is exactly like Never Say Never Again, but it's better. How is this possible? Because it was like 2 decades earlier. And it's like, man, it's crazy. The underwater fight scenes, Domino, Sean Connery. This one is great.
Yeah, that one it's like a little bit hilarious. It's like this is basically the TV rights and family beef is Never Say Never, but Thunderball is part of this saga, and it's like you really do watch it like, do we have anything different? Nope. It's literally just the same movie in 20-year difference. And it's better.
This is black and Never Say Never Again. That's the only difference.
There's other difference, which also is. Well, if you get to that one, I'll say why that one's cool.
Well, I assume at some point we may get to it. All right. Now we're going into the Pierce Brosnan territory. Tomorrow Never Dies. James Bond fights a fake news creator, media mogul. This is like so ahead of its time. This Bond is telling you what's going to happen down the road. And it's like, oh, wow. How groundbreaking. Who wants in?
Sure. Man. The villain, no. But it was like a good, all right, let's see what Pierce is going to do for the rest of these movies. Because it was good for him. But that whole villain plot is just they could have done better. They weren't trying to be campy, but they ended up being too. It wasn't great. It wasn't good.
Jovon, you look like you're itching to say something about that one.
Well, one, foreshadowing. How about that, right? Two, the diversity. Michelle Yeoh as the first Asian Bond girl. That was a plus. That was a big plus there. As far as diversifying. But it wasn't the worst Brosnan Bond film. I'll say that. It was not the worst. It was just okay.
Worried about where
it was just okay.
If this isn't your least favorite Brosnan Bond.
Oh no, I'm not gonna, Jeff. I'm not gonna mention it. I'm gonna allow you. You're gonna do that. This is your show. You're gonna bring that up.
Jayce, you got to go on this one.
Okay. That is my least favorite of the Brosnan Bond movies because it's literally just the villain. It's just the villain is just not a physical presence. It's like the henchmen aren't really good. It's just nothing to that movie. It's just like, oh man. It's like Michelle Yeoh does hey man, she's kicking as much butt as James. Actually, I think she kicks more butt than James, but it's still like the rest of the movie is just bad. It's pass on that one.
I think the real problem with it is Elliot Carver's scheme is great for the B villain, and there needed to be an A villain who was running everything, and Carver was just like, I'm doing things, boss, and that's not the real plan. He's going to take the news media conglomerate and take over the world some different way, and Carver didn't know. I think that's what's missing. They needed a better villain, but that is true of many Bond films. All right, what's next? Spectre. And the heads hang low. Who wants it back?
It was so overhyped. Like, y'all know my feelings on Jurassic Park, right? I was like, do I really need to call this James Bond film like the Jurassic Park of the James Bond film? I was hyped for this movie. And I'm sitting here like, is this another one where all the action sequences are in the beginning? Yep, all the action sequences are in the beginning of the movie. Great. And I'm like, okay, where are we going? Okay, where are we going? Oh, another tunnel. Ooh, all the pictures of everybody that died in the last films of what's his name? Craig. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm just not excited. I really was excited. I can try to pretend to be excited because this villain is like a good villain, kind of. But it just didn't go. I mean, the whole movie just didn't go anywhere. It just didn't go anywhere for me. I was just like, this is the most anticlimactic Bond film I have seen in a long time.
Yeah, I
Go ahead, bro.
I was saying, like, I think we were all thinking, like, after Skyfall, we are just like, all right, you're going in. This is like he's going to take out Blofeld. It's on. It's just like it's going down. Like they're going. Spectre is they're not screwing with MI6. It's over. We're gonna have it. And then you got to it. It was like we got a whole bunch of masked dudes that are Spectre. I mean, these aren't even the Court of Owls. It's like, hey, we're all just random guys. Hey, we got Dave Bautista here. Yeah, good job. Like, but I mean, that's as much as we have in this movie. And it's like, we have our action sequence at the end. And it's like, wow, that's about as, exciting as another one of the Daniel Craig's Bond movies. Wow, I could have just stuck with Skyfall and kept it going. I mean, kept it there.
Yeah, what was that second one?
Quantum of Solace.
I can't remember the name. Yeah, it definitely gave me solace. Anyway, so I was like, all right, yeah, that was like, it was on that level only. Maybe I'll rewatch Quantum of Solace because I think it was slightly better. Slightly.
No, don't make that mistake. Spectre is not the greatest, but it's not boring. And Quantum of Solace is just like one long breakup letter to Vesper. And it's like, dude, come on. She's dead. Move on.
It really was. I was like, am I watching Twilight Bond? Yeah. Like, what the hell is happening? This is like terrible. It's like teen romance. Man. I was like, what the hell is this?
What are you doing, James?
And the helicopter went upside down. That was like the most exciting shit. I'm like, motherfucker, I saw that in Airwolf. Like, come on, man. We gotta do something.
Spectre is weird to me.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Spectre's just didn't go anywhere. Yeah, you're right.
Like Spectre's biggest problem was they were trying to celebrate Bond's one of those anniversaries, and they were like, yo, let's do all the cool Bond stuff in a Daniel Craig film. And the Daniel Craig films have never been, let's go gadget heavy, let's do all this wild, bizarre stuff. It's been very grounded. The bad guys have very simple plans. Blofeld felt bloated as a character, where it's like, I'm your brother, ha ha ha. And it's like, what is this? I mean, wouldn't James know he had a brother? I feel like that's something you would know.
Yeah.
And
his dad was a traveling man, and they were, when he was dropped in Oxford as an orphan. Oh, right.
It wasn't the best. And I feel like when Blofeld gets introduced to him straight up, like the first scene when he sees him in that big, castle, whatever, that's a great scene. And it's like when they come face to face, when it's the daylight, it's like, what's going on here? This isn't as good as it should be. Right. And I feel like Bond should have gotten paid to babysit his love interest in this one because she's so much younger than him. James, the pizza money's on the counter, and help yourself to whatever you want. It's just I wasn't feeling it. Jay King, how about you?
Yeah, it was boring. And like you touched on it all. I mean, they tried to make this an ode to Bond, right? This is the history of it. It just didn't. It fell flat. You can't give us that kind of action and then ease off the
Yeah.
accelerator. You don't want to overdo it by okay. If you like this, you'll love. If we amp it up by 20, I was glad they didn't take a ridiculous approach to it, but it just didn't have the same tone. You can't set a tone and then change
I
it.
feel like
And who directed?
They could have added
but
to
if you
it.
start
They
off
could
with
have
a
added to it.
building
Look at what happened
falling,
with Mission
with
Impossible.
buildings collapsing, that's your first act. Everybody's in
Yeah.
full mask. It's Day of the Dead. You're setting yourself up real hard to try to top that scene.
Yeah,
You gotta go up, but it
you
went.
gotta go up.
Yeah, but look at Mission Impossible, man. Like they just kept getting weirder and weirder and more stuff, and we're still watching the damn things. It's Mission
They
Impossible.
escalate their
That's
action scenes.
really could, yeah, like normal freaking movies. So that one, I'm like, they got to stop with that. I mean, I think that's why I compared to Quantum of Solace because they did the same thing. It was just climax, and we're just going around. It was like, what was that ride from the old school Disney World where it was just like, was it Magic
Space
Mountain or something? It was one of those
Woo!
mountains where it was just like,
Sorry, that's canceled.
yeah, it was just like, woo, you go up, you're like, yeah, we're gonna go. Nope, we're just going straight the whole damn time.
Coasting
Hey,
straight
it's
up.
in the
Yeah.
dark.
Terrible.
All right, let's see what's next. All right, Pierce Brosnan's debut in the Bond mythos with GoldenEye.
That movie was like when they and the NBA took away the dunk contest and then brought it back for Vince Carter.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like the last few have been so trash.
right.
We had to wait for somebody that you would say, oh, okay, that makes sense, right?
Right.
And let's make a decent movie and let's make something decent out of this. And that was the thing about not just a segue into that dunk contest, but that dunk contest had really good competitors and really good dunkers, right? You had Steve Francis, Jerry Stackhouse, right? The thing about this movie, it had the right villain, the right Bond girl, the right action. And Pierce did a damn good job of making Bond British and cool. Yeah, so that's my take.
You said it, dude. I only have another analogy, but it's not as good as the dunk contest. Mine was gonna be the damn Batman film, and then all of a sudden, here's the first one. Here's Christian Bale, and Batman Begins. You're like, oh, thank God, because they were stinking up the place. They took a break, and now it's like, all right, now we got the good Dark Knight again. Let's go. Did Tim Burton do this? Hold on. Oh, that wasn't Tim Burton at all. But you know what I mean? You're just like, whoa, this is like great. This is wonderful. That's why I felt GoldenEye. Well, I was like, oh, this isn't campy or weird or anything. This is a Bond film. Let's go watch
Hey,
this.
Gunner.
Right?
After nipples on the bat suit, they could have stuck my fat ass in some latex, and that would have been a better movie than anything they put together.
Thank you.
Freeze.
Listen, I watched
From
Spawn, and I was like, Spawn isn't that bad compared to that mess.
Not that
Both of them
bad
came out
compared-
in that same summer, and I was like,
Yeah.
was Spawn
Oh,
bad?
God.
Then I watched Spawn again. I was like, yeah, Spawn was bad. But I was comparing it to the other movie that came out that summer.
This small bag of trash is a lot better than the big smelly bag of trash.
Doesn't smell as
Still
bad.
trash, yes. Jayce, what do you think of GoldenEye?
GoldenEye is one of my top 5 James Bond movies. It is. I mean, you have 007 versus 006. The Femke Jensen was awesome as the Femme Fatale. Milo was actually hilarious, and you actually really wanted him to get what he got at the end of the movie. I don't think there's I don't think you can say like, all right, if you can say, oh, there's one weakness in the movie, it's like, yeah, but the weakness has funny lines, and I'm okay with the
You're
weakness.
talking about boys with toys?
Yes. But hey, she, I think is a, low-level programmer. I buy her. Like, hey, don't cause any waves. Men stepping over, and then she gets the last laugh at the end. I dug that. And so there's really that's if there was a quality for no flaws, that movie is like 99. With no flaws.
That's my favorite of all the Bond films because you've got Remington Steele taking on Ned Stark, and I'm all about it. And we have Jean Grey up in this camp. We got Nightcrawler here. It's amazing. I will stand on the hill with my tank to defend GoldenEye as the best Bond movie. All right. Next up, From Russia with Love, Sean Connery's second film. This time he's going to Russia. And it's got a huge train sequence. Sean Connery's just a cool Bond. And it's one of those things where he encapsulates every aspect of every guy that comes after him. He's got the cool suaveness of Pierce Brosnan. He's got the rugged, efficient, violent killer like Timothy Dalton. He can throw out those quips like Roger Moore. And he can be a brute like Daniel Craig. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's just really good stuff. Anybody else got any thoughts on that one?
It's my number three. Only like 3 Bond films, so it's my number 3.
It's my 3 of 3.
I'm not saying I don't dislike the other ones. It's like I'm like I hate these movies. It's just there are Bond films and then there are Bond films, and that's up there for me.
Cool. All right, let's see. Next up is Die Another Day. Pierce Brosnan's absolute final version of Bond. Jovon, the fact that you said Tomorrow Never Dies was not your least favorite leads me to believe that I think this would be the one you would be referring to. Is that correct?
This man.
The mere mention of that movie is like a fart in my mouth. It was bad to me. To me, it was bad, and I hate to get to the point where it's Halle Berry, a black woman. I'm saying this movie is bad. It had nothing to do with her. It was just the movie stunk. Nobody was trying anymore. Right. It was like they just didn't try.
Halle was the best part of that movie, boy. That was the best part of that movie until she opened her mouth and then she started acting and trying to act.
Man, you hate that's just hating on Halle for no reason.
Every other Bond film, you got an actual actress. This bad.
Wow.
Halle Berry.
No, she saved herself in John Wick, man. She learned action and let me do these crappy lines. John Wick, she's a hell of a lot better than that. But this film, no, bro, no. Anyways, I just.
Halle Berry is the only Oscar Best Actress to get the Oscar and then star in a Bond film. So
why did she get the Oscar? I don't even want to talk about that, bro. I don't even want to talk about that. That's not even man.
But I'm just saying, so it's not like she's some talented hack coming out here. It's not like that. All right, Jayce, do you want to defend it or should I?
I'm gonna defend this movie because it's not bad. I don't. Okay, Gustav Grave playing the smug James Bond, like anti-James Bond, was hilarious, and actually was the sword fight and in the middle of the training, the fencing fight, that was good. The second tier bad guys were good. James Bond getting tortured because he sure as hell deserved it. In that, I mean, after what he did, he was not gonna come out without getting tortured. I mean, Halle's part. Halle was not bad. I thought she was let's be honest. There is one iconic scene of James Bond, and they tried to redo that again the other way, and it's like not the same. Just add up the pieces. Okay, good villain, which a lot of James Bonds don't have. You have a credible James Bond. Did they go over the top with the cars and ridiculousness? Yes, I will.
The car on the skis.
Yes,
you mean the car on the big skis that got caught in the middle of the daggone scene and they left it in the scene?
Yes, I will. Hey, I can't say
Talk
this is a
about like
perfect
teenagers
movie.
in a stolen car, man.
Hey, listen.
I'm not saying this is a perfect movie. I'm just
Just
saying.
left it on East Capitol Street.
Listen,
This movie's entertaining. And like, I understand
Exactly.
that people.
I'm not gonna say it's
Don't
not
like it.
entertaining. I'm saying that it
Okay.
wasn't the greatest Bond film. Seriously, for several reasons. They
Listen.
had good parts and they had a damn good villain. I dug that shit. No, that whole
Yeah,
plot.
man, that plot of the villain is
his
amazing.
Journey line, that journey line from Diamond
Yeah,
Face and the
dude.
villain and why he was
Right.
Diamond Face. That shit was great. They could have put that in like another movie and it still would have been awesome.
yeah,
You take
like
that
it-
out, and you got Halle Berry walking out the
Listen,
beach, and that's
listen,
kind of it.
listen,
And
listen,
cars on
listen,
skis.
listen.
Again, like okay, like Rosamund Pike's like her MI6 agent. Like there is way more good in this movie than there are bad. I think if you were to say, hey, I give you 2 hours, 5 hours to watch Bond movies, I don't think you're necessarily saying, I won't watch this one. Like you'd be like, okay, yeah, it's fine. I will
Only
watch
5
it.
hours?
It's
This
entertaining.
one's not on the list.
I know 5 is too short. I give you a weekend. I think a weekend of Bonds. I think you'll pick this. You'll put put it.
That is fair and not wrong
Yeah,
at all.
Because seriously,
You're correct.
I mean,
All right,
You are
because I'm gonna
correct.
have to cross it
is
at
not the
some
worst
point.
Bond film.
Halle Berry coming out of the ocean guarantees a watch.
I mean, that's alone right there.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, but she was great in that movie. Like, I feel like that was one where I felt like Halle wasn't trying to act. She was just being like cool, fun. It felt like 90s Halle Berry in a 2000s movie, which was trying to veer into that whole ridiculous action because Michael Bay, the comic book movies were starting to surface and they just needed Bond to be a product of the times, just like how some of the other films were like, oh, let's go into space like Star Wars. I mean, they've always chased the trend. They don't really set it. It's always like, oh, this is what they're doing. I mean, like the Casino Royale and all the Daniel Craig ones were following the Bourne Identities. So this was just, let's just have some fun. And yeah, so that's what I like. Next up, I just talked it up. So Casino Royale, they're like, all right, everybody, a lot of people hated all this ridiculous, crazy fun of Die Another Day. We're gonna go super serious with this one, and Bond is going to he's going to take a seat in a chair with no bottom. Ouch.
That shit was
Ring the bells. So this one, I think, is on everybody's top 5. And Jovon, I'm going to shame you on blast here. This is one movie you have managed to avoid seeing. Please fix it this weekend. It's great. It's excellent. Don't spoil it for Jovon because I want him to experience all the fun on his own.
And that's the thing. It's not because I don't want to see Casino Royale. It was one of those things where it was my Bigfoot. I never got to see this movie. It always eluded me.
Don't let it elude you much longer. I'll drive over to your house and drop off a Blu-ray or a digital copy. Want it to?
It's on. I got it on Blu-ray and DVD right here, and it's on Netflix.
Oh, there you go. There you
On
go.
Netflix?
Well, it was on Netflix. It might not be anymore, but it definitely was for a very long time.
It was
If it's
like
not, I'll be calling either one of you to borrow it for the weekend.
All right,
Absolutely.
who wants to talk about how great Casino Royale?
Oh my god.
Go ahead, Gunner.
Oh my god. Yeah. After seeing the Green Jaguar on skis on ice, to watch this, first the parkour scene and all that. I'm not really in that, but that was really awesome. All of it. I mean, from the card games, from the mind games to I'm just gonna say swashbuckling. Seriously, this movie had everything you wanted in a Bond film. Literally everything. You had a couple Bond girls. Come on, man. This joint is number one. Damn near close to the daggone novel. Come on, man. Son, this joint. I was like, oh, well, this is a Bond film. I was sitting here this is a cool Bond that you can deal with. I disagree with the Bourne film situation until Quantum of Solace because it was the same producer or director, somebody, because the Bourne films always did that whole and then maybe a little bit of a climb and then that was it. So no, Casino Royale was up, 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 and I'm still going up.
My only thing
And
with
so that's
Casino Royale, it needed a villain as good as everything else was. The Chief, he was good, but I mean, he was just wiping bloody tears. And I wanted him to do something, have something else, something better. He's really good, because I mean, I can't hate on Jen Erso's Papa, but I wanted him to be just a little bit better. And he's the only thing. But Eva Green is one of the all-time best Bond babes, because Vesper is truly a great character. So great that they keep referencing her in every Daniel Craig Bond film.
Every other
They're like,
movie.
yo, did you remember I used to be with Vesper? Yeah, dude, you won't ever stop talking about her. But yeah, she was great, and that's why. All right, let's see. What's next? Octopussy. Jayce loves this one.
Okay, this was the James Bond. They were throwing everything at the wall to see if it stuck, and none of it stuck. It's like, hey, we're gonna have a fight on elephants.
How can you hate on the movie?
We're gonna fight in the.
You like the Protector, didn't you? You like the Protector, didn't you?
Hey, I would definitely. Hey, I got Protector back there. That movie, Octopussy, I bought like with a sale of James Bond movies for $7, and I'm like, man, can I get like 5 and call it a day? I'll eat that $2
I paid
loss.
too much for this.
That movie is. Hey, I mean, there is in the. I mean, Jeff and me were talking before. He's like, oh well, yeah, he'll explain later. But there is so much going on in this movie that it's just like none of it makes sense, and I just want this to be over. Now, there's another Roger Moore. I don't even think I made it through the end of that one because of how bad it was. But this one, I was like, okay, I think we stretched this old James Bond thing. We'll just call it. I'm going to take a couple hours and watch some football or something because this is bad.
As long as you're watching football on Friday night. J. King, you got any thoughts about it?
No.
Okay. I'm going to defend
it was
sort of kind of Octopussy. I'm not going on top of my elephant to defend this one. Like I said before, it's product of his times. Roger Moore was just stuck in like the wacky time period for his movies where it was like cinema was changing and the Bond franchise was just playing catch up and really trying to figure out what do people like now? What do they like? Oh, they like this. Let's try this. And Octopussy is just a smorgasbord that doesn't taste good. And it's like, oh man, it's like that buffet with not enough seasoning and the macaroni and cheese is stale. It's just like, okay, what is cool is they have a bad guy who's a woman, and she's not just I'm the lackey henchman of the big villain. She's like actually the one running and doing the thing. So I like that, and the poster with Octopussy having all the different arms is just cool. It's one of the cooler visuals. So I like that. But I'm not going to defend it too long. All right, so next up. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Gunner, is this part of your 3? And you give me a big no.
No.
But, oh, man. Oh, okay. So George Lazenby steps in. He is the first fill-in for Connery. And I feel like if this movie came out in 2020, people would be like, not my Bond. Lazenby sucks. Where's Connery? He's trash. But this is one of the best Bond films. It's got Bond versus Blofeld. It's got another all-time epic Bond babe in Diana Rigg, who, Game of Thrones fans know is the Queen of Thorns. And she was excellent in this film. And you bought this romance, this relationship. So often with the Bond films, it's like, all right, Bond's just going to sleep with this one. And yeah, let's move on to the next action scene. And there's no like, oh yeah, James. But nobody cares about the love interest. This time I was invested. I cared. And when things happen in subsequent movies, I was feeling it for Bond. So this one is really good. This one is Christopher Nolan's favorite Bond film, for whatever that's worth. And if you watch Inception, there are several elements of Inception that borrowed just almost directly from this movie. They have a great snow base, snow skiing scene. Really love it. Really good movie.
Oh, this is the snow one. Sorry, there are so many movies.
I mean, he's on skis a lot.
There's
He's
so
on
many
skis a
Bond movies.
bunch.
I'm getting them
But
mixed
this
up.
one is
Sorry.
like the
Yeah.
real quintessential snow Bond film. He's fighting Telly Savalas. So we got a quality Blofeld here, not scene chewing. He's just doing his thing. He didn't even have to shave his head for it. It's great. So it worked out really well. Anybody else have any thoughts on this one before I move on?
I'll just say this. This is probably the James Bond with the best ending out of all of them. I don't think you can't get it. It's. I mean, like Casino Royale has a very good one, but I
It
think
does.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service has the
I
best
think
one.
that's probably 1 and 2. Casino Royale does have a strong ending. And it's like, oh, shoot, we got to see if we continue. And it does. All right. Can't go in this list too far without mentioning Dr. No, the very first Bond film. Watching this, long after seeing balding Sean Connery with hair plugs trying to keep it together with the toupee and all that good stuff. Watching him here, and even then I think he was still rocking a little hairpiece, but this dude was just cool. I mean, the second he steps on the screen, it's like, oh, I totally understand why everybody's like, nah, player, he's James Bond. And it doesn't take like, oh, okay, the movie credits start rolling. I'm like, I think I see it. It's immediate. And the action's wild. It's crazy. And it's like, yeah, okay. I see why they were like, let's make 20 of these movies. How many of them can we have Sean Connery in? What'd you guys think?
The James Bond movie. That's it. That's all I got. That's all you need to say. This is the one that people remember. If you've never watched a James Bond fan, you can quote lines from this movie. So, that's it. Up there.
I mean, how much of what was it? Austin Powers did they basically take out of Doctor No? I mean, that was
Bingo.
it was, and the reason why Austin Powers was funny was because of how cool Doctor No was. It just made it like Sean Connery is literally the dude. You were just like, yeah, okay, he's coming in here, taking over. He's kicking butt. He's got a credible villain. It's just like, yeah, it's just like Jeff said. How many more of these can we make? Because we're good.
Yeah. So I think that's all we need to say on that one because it's just epic and great. What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles back at you one more time with a brand new giveaway. One that I am very excited about because it's one of my favorite films so far of 2021. No matter how fast you are, no one outruns their past. Vin Diesel returns for the 9th chapter of the worldwide blockbuster series in F9, The Fast Saga. Also starring John Cena, Sung Kang, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, and even an appearance from Helen Mirren. Own F9 The Fast Saga with the never-before-seen director's cut and all new bonus content on 4K, Ultra High Def, and Blu-ray and digital. How are you going to get these passes? It's super simple. All you got to do, email me at lylesmoviefiles@gmail.com and tell me why you want to see it. That's it. I've got passes. Want to give them away so you can have a fun weekend checking out one of my favorite films of 2021. That's all you got to do. All right, now back to the show. Back there. All right, Skyfall. So I watched No Time to Die, as I mentioned at the start of this, and it made me want to come home and revisit Skyfall and Spectre because I wanted to see kind of the Craig films all really linked together as one linear story. There's no restart after every film like most of the Bond ones. Skyfall, is one that I was like, it looks really great. It's the best looking, it's the best shot, best lit Bond film by far. And I can't even tell you what number 2 and 3 is. It's Skyfall is all alone on this mountaintop looking way down at everything else. It looks exceptional. And the plot is actually good. I always feel like the Bond films work better when there's a personal stake along with the villain trying to do some global domination thing where they actually have it in for a character. This time it's M, Judi Dench's final take as M. Javier Bardem plays the bad guy and he hits just the right amount of being eccentric kind of wacky, memorable, and the blonde hair is like, this guy's, wow, he's crying out there with this. And the bleach blonde eyebrows and the scarred face. He covers so many check marks of a classic vintage Bond villain without feeling like, let's make him a classic Bond villain. He works really well in the Craig universe of Bond films. I think the only weakness in this one, Naomi Harris is great as Moneypenny, like as the ally Bond babe. She's great, but the femme fatale, Bernice Brujol, she's just kind of there, and then she's not. It's like, oh, okay, you're gone. She didn't make an impact at all, and
totally forgettable.
Yeah,
like forgettable.
And it just seems like she's gonna be really like, oh shoot, okay, and then she's gone, and it's like, wow, that was really abrupt. And I just rewatched it today, and I still don't understand her art. Like, okay, whatever. But the rest of Skyfall, really good. Anybody else have thoughts on Skyfall?
That was your tribute movie. They were trying too hard to make another tribute movie. It seems like with Spectre. I think Jovon, somebody touched on that just a while ago. But yeah, Skyfall was the tribute movie to Bond films that you like. That's probably why we went back to Skyfall after watching Spectre. You know what I mean? Like this is like, why would they go back down a notch? Like, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I love Skyfall is pretty damn good. Like, I mean, that to me, that's Casino Royale too. To me, I don't touch the other ones. I'm like, I'm good.
J. King, what do you think of Skyfall?
I loved it, but on another note, guys, and anybody listening, if this comes out before Friday, AMC theaters locally are running the Bond series. If anybody's seen this,
so you guys can go.
They're running them.
So Gunner, you can see Octopussy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see Casino Royale. Nice.
playing tomorrow. I'm going to.
I know you're going.
Oh yeah.
What they're gonna do? They're just gonna set aside a block or a theater where you can just sit through a marathon.
They've got several of our local theaters: Tyson's, Columbia, Owings Mills, White Marsh, that are running Bond. Yeah, good theaters that are running Bond movies throughout the day until they get to the premiere Friday.
Oh wow!
Damn.
Yeah.
So just Daniel Craig Bonds or all the Bonds? Like
everything.
All weekend?
Looks like they're showing a little bit of everything.
Forever. Yeah. Like TVS used to do that. That's going to take forever.
Get some popcorn and get an empty cup.
It's like you probably have like 4 theaters dedicated, and you just kind of go bouncing back for which one you want to go to. Like, because that
would be smart.
6 movies per theater.
You need to sit there and watch them all.
The Roger Moore one would be. The Roger Moore theater would be empty.
Absolutely terrible. I would sit in for at least 3 Roger Moore films. All right.
Now, what I was going to say? What about Timothy Dalton Bond film?
We have one coming up.
You just add that with Sean Connery.
Yeah, hold on.
Did anybody have any other thoughts on Skyfall before I go forward?
Okay, Skyfall has probably one of the top 5 songs in all the Bond
I'm going to go
movies.
Gunner on that one.
Hey, I will not. I won't fight you to at all on that. That is a beautiful film, and it is always when you're kind of like, if that had been Craig's last Bond film, we would think he's probably 1 or 2. I mean, we'll say probably 2 or 3 James Bond, because that movie was so good. And then it's like, and that's why when Spectre came out, you're like, okay, I thought we were transitioning almost to a new Bond, but okay. And then you get Spectre and you're like, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah. They took a real, they messed up. Because I feel like you're right. If it ended, they set up Q, they set up Moneypenny, they set up M. Everything, the deck was all straight for the next whoever was going to come and step in as Bond. And then Daniel Craig was like, yeah, after Spectre, we wanted to do another one. So he kind of wanted to step away, and then they brought him back, and Spectre wasn't great and wasn't well received. And he said, let's run it back and then I want to be done with this thing. So, yeah. All right, let's see what's next. All right, Jayce, you ready for View to a Kill?
Oh man. Okay. This is also one of my, again, this is product of 80s. This is one of my top 3 favorite Bond songs. I mean, it's Duran Duran singing "View to a Kill." Like, come on, like that's. I mean, I do I still work after that? Yes, I do. Christopher Walken is your bad guy. You have, I gotta it. I mean, you have Christopher Walken, Grace Jones, and this is Roger Moore's last one, but it is one of
Thank
my.
God.
You're a hater, but I mean, this is it's like it gets you. Like Max Zorn is a very cool bad guy against Roger Moore. I mean, it's like if you're gonna going out against Christopher Walken is the best way to go, and you get that soundtrack. I mean, I'll watch that tonight.
There you go. And Grace Jones was really good in this too.
She was.
Yeah.
I did. Go ahead, Jason.
I was gonna say that was the thing about like the newer Bonds. They had like the Femme Fatales like kicking James's butt or like actually doing stuff, and that was all. I mean, like Grace Jones was like the start of that, and it was like, yeah, it's like the way she was going. I'm like, yeah, I'm a little shook by you, man. Thank you. Hey, you do your thing.
She should have kicked his ass. He was 69 years
I
old.
don't know how old he was, but he did get his tail whooped. Now, Triple X was doing things on Bond too, though. For Your Eyes Only, the Russian agent. But yeah, absolutely. And the Craig Bond films have not really had that kind of interaction with him and any woman, where it's just like they're a threat outside of Vesper messing with his head. Did y'all know he used to date Vesper? Okay.
And he has Vesper tattooed on his like ring finger,
does.
man. Yeah.
All right. So here's another Roger Moore one for you. The Man with the Golden Gun. Now he's fighting Scaramanga and Count Dooku. What say you? Nobody.
I'm waiting for the hate to come. I'm hearing.
You mean gold member? Thank God Austin Powers did like a gold member type of thing too. That was wonderful.
Oh, such disrespect to Roger Moore's films.
Okay, like
They improved it.
Did you like him actually going against the trained assassin? Like Christopher,
Christopher Lee.
Like, come on, him against Christopher Lee, like,
It's just not believable. This dude is like, I don't know, man. That dude does not have. It just didn't. It never. The dude never clicked for me, man. It still can't get it in my head that dude was ever a Bond dude.
Come on.
It just never clicked for me.
I mean, like the duel at the gun, like that was
quality stuff, but it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, like their only problem.
I think if you put another actor in there, I'd probably be fine. It just never meshed with me. It just couldn't.
All right, moving on.
No.
I think this might be our last one. The World Is Not Enough. Now, Jayce has a theory on this movie that I think holds up very well and it makes a lot of sense. But I kind of wonder if the acting would not be up to par if that happened. Feel free, bro.
Okay. This movie is really good. But if you switch the casting of the Femme Fatales, is Denise Austin not as a rocket scientist? I'm sorry, Denise Richards not as a rock physicist, and her is the
Pampered Princess,
Russian heiress. Yeah, it's like that. I mean, it's just like if you heard it, you're like, okay, I buy it.
Are you sure you're not confusing her with her character in Undercover Brother? Because she was the. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, but did you believe her in that movie, Roll?
I'm just saying. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I feel like when I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm thinking of her character on Undercover Brother years later. So maybe
that probably was the kind of we see why we shouldn't have put her as a nuclear physicist.
Fair.
And Christmas what was her
Christmas
name?
Jones,
Christmas
I think.
something. It was like, yeah, Christmas Jones is like, oh, come, like, let's just let's come up with a better name.
But Jayce,
the
if you
rest of the
do
movie,
that, I only thought Christmas came once a year. How do you not get that joke if you don't? Come on.
you don't.
Come on.
You come with a little higher brow joke.
Listen, Bond has never been afraid to go low for the humor. I'm here for it on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what was her? Sophia. What was her name? Yeah. Okay. She was so good in that role, and it's like, and you say she, an Octopussy, that she was the main bad. It was like, no, at the end you found out actually she was the big bad playing the dude Renard, and that's why it's like it also helps. It's like, oh wow, like this isn't some little I have no power. She's like, no, I knew what to do, and I did it. I seduced him. And I'm going to actually take back. I'm going to try and kill him. I'm going to take this pipeline. I'm going to be super rich, and nobody's going to be able to stop me at the end. And it's like it's almost an actual workable plot, except for that dirty James Bond. So, I'll mess with that movie.
Jovon, you got anything on this one?
No, I think you guys kind of covered it with the casting of the ladies of this Bond movie. That's the only thing that really threw me off about it. I'll watch it if it's on, but I cringe every time Denise Richards is
when she starts talking sciencey, I feel like I'm watching a Flash.
Yeah,
like, you don't know that
like,
stuff. I mean, you barely remember that part. You barely remember that dialogue. Get out of here.
It's like Kim Kardashian talking in any movie. I was like, what are you talking about? You don't know anything. I will
say that they were, again, getting on to the hot train in more ways than one. Because Denise Richards was super hot back in that time frame when they cast her in the movie. And it was like, we know we're selling tickets, putting Denise Richards in a tank top in shorts. We know we got that covered.
I'm sorry.
And people went to see that movie.
We have the poster. We should sell some extra tickets, absolutely. Okay?
So I get them. I understand. Yeah.
And they did.
All right. Well, now it's that time. No Time to Die. I'm going to talk about this one, and I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. So Bond has retired again. I feel like in a lot of ways, this is Daniel Craig's Dark Knight Rises. Because at the end of Dark Knight, we're assuming that Batman is going to be out there on those mean streets of Gotham, taking up the mantle and being a bad guy so Harvey doesn't have to be. But we find out the Joker just been chilling in the mansion, retiring all this time. He's been laid up, getting his knees gimpy and all this stuff. I'm like, what is this? This is not very heroic. So Bond and Madeline are enjoying happy couple life. It kind of reminds me of that joint in Arrow where he and Felicity drove off into the CGI sunset, and I hated it. And this is kind of how that is, but because secret agents can't have happy things, it has to change up. Felix calls him back in for a mission. Lashana Lynch is his replacement at MI6. Everything goes superbly great for the first hour and a half. I mean, I'm loving this movie. I'm literally, you know how we got the seats now, you can recline. I was laid back chilling, but as the movie kept going, I was like, I got to pull this button back because I need to be on the edge of my seat. This joint is so good. Then we get the second half, and it's like, I felt like I walked into a screen in a Spectre and no one told me. And I wasn't happy with that. And not the good half of Spectre, the bad back half of Spectre, where it's a lot of talking, a lot of nonsensical plots, and bad guys that don't register. And I thought that there was an opportunity for an On Her Majesty's Secret Service style conclusion, and I was about to go, yes, I see where you're going, this is awesome. And then they go, yoink, not quite, player. Not going to spoil anything else because I want you guys to see it. But yeah, it was interesting, not my favorite, and I really wish, in hindsight, after watching Skyfall tonight, that Daniel Craig just said, I don't care how much money you're putting, I'm done with Skyfall. So, yeah. Speaking of things that should have been done and old relics that should not have been brought back out, NBC debuted La Brea. And I don't think they were shying away from, hey, maybe we'll confuse some people who don't remember Lost aired on ABC. And if we show them in the woods enough, they'll think, oh, shoot, they brought Lost back. But I also remember they've tried this Lost redo with Manifest, where it's like, they've gone missing. They were on a plane. And it's like, listen, NBC, stop it. Just stop. We know you're going to cancel it, and we're going to have to rely on Hulu, Netflix, etc. to revive it and finish it. La Brea just seems stupid. I'm watching all these ads, and, you know, because they've been playing it during football. This is the only way that I'll pay attention to NBC shows. And the Olympics. They've been hyping this show relentlessly. And normally, when you pummel me with ads like this, I'm like, all right, fine, I'll watch it. I turn on the TV because, you know, it worked. And then I'm like, wait a second. Blake Lively looks a lot different. And I realized in all of these ads, they pulled a fast one on me. They brought in the Dollar General version of Blake Lively. It's not Blake Lively in the lead role. And I'm like, wait. So not only do we have a bootleg Lost, we have a bootleg Blake Lively. No offense to the actress. I don't mean it that way. But I'm like, can we do anything original NBC? No. What they are going to do as original is take it off the air quickly. That's what's going to be original. J. King, you watched this show. I had it on mute for the first 10 minutes and realized I don't need sound. But you watched it. What did you think?
Damn, what did I think? This is what happens when you're chasing the success of another network. And I said this about ABC chasing recent NBC success. This Is Us, right?
Yeah.
Because remember, ABC, after what, one season or two seasons of This Is Us, made This Is Us, which was, I don't even know if it's still on.
Little Big Things, something like that.
A million little things. Right, yeah. With Peter from Office Space as the lead or something.
I could just watch This Is Us.
Or I can just watch This Is Us, right? And I hate when networks do that, where we're going to make our version of a popular show on another network. And NBC has been trying to make their version of Lost now for a decade. You're not going to do it. It was so bad that they just took direct rips from the show, from Lost. The cache of heroin in the trunk. And I'm thinking, okay, who the hell is writing this show? If I fell through a Earth anus into Middle Earth, I'm not going to be worried about the heroin in the trunk. Right? I'm still going to be trying to figure out how the hell did I get here unscathed?
That would be a good day.
How did I just fall? I fell through a hole in the earth. And I woke up in his power bar. Like that, I don't know if any of y'all watched that. That was, oh my God. The fact that, okay, the lead actress, she just jumps up and says, okay, well, I'm here now, so what do we do?
Okay, Jovon, please tell me they didn't have like some random power bars, Apollo bars, just hanging out.
That's the only thing that would survive the tar pits.
That was the only thing that survived the tar pits were kind bars.
Because no one would eat them there either.
There was. That's why they dumped them down the hole. I thought it was a product placement or something for like Cliff Bars or whatever it was. Dude, it was just so dumb. Everybody drops into the hole. No one questions. It's like they instantly figured out, like the brother said, okay, well, I take it those lights up there where we came through. Okay, so we're not going to chew on that for a minute at all. Let's start gathering supplies because it's going to be nightfall soon.
Jovon,
and then the self-appointed leader of the pack.
This was not like Superman because the black man wasn't questioned immediately with his assertion of what was going on. Like, what are you talking about? Hey, who's you?
What are you talking about? No, Jeff, it wasn't Supergirl because instead of being questioned, nobody even paid attention to the fact that he said, well, we all just fell through the damn sky. Nobody even, okay, well, that just happened, so let's start gathering up supplies, y'all. Hey, and then the giant CGI wolves came.
I was about to ask you about that. Like, did their budget not factor in? We can just throw in a paw for a polar bear. Nah, we'll just have some bootleg looking wolves. And I was like, and that was the point where I started texting. I'm like, wait a second. we got stuff coming out of the woods now, and these jokers. I'm like, and it looked like they had a caveman at some point. I'm like, you know what? I just need to turn the TV off.
Wait.
It's burning
Jeff,
valuable plasma in the
It
TV.
was like the land of the lost.
Do we have a smoke monster?
It's been a far better show than Land of the Lost. Land of the Lost, I can watch that. Family randomly comes with a damn station wagon, and now they're back in time. That makes freaking sense. This preview didn't even make sense to me. I'm like, so what are they? So it's Lost, or they fell through a hole in La Brea somewhere?
Your husband has special abilities to figure out where they are. He has sight beyond sight.
He's got sight beyond sight, and he's a world-class pilot too. It's like it just checks all the corny boxes.
The sad thing is, I don't know if you're joking, but the fact that you both agreed said it actually
I watched like
happened.
the last 10 minutes. And then NBC was like, don't panic. We're not going to cancel. Here's what's coming up this season in the Bray. I'm like, they've never done that before. I'm like, you guys are worried for me.
Hey, honestly, if you're La Brea's writers, I'm like, I need a commitment for one season and 22 episodes, or I'm shopping this still.
Dog, if this thing lasts
Jayce,
22
look,
episodes,
they
I'm
did.
gonna laugh.
Hey, look, y'all, look, the way they did that, Jeff, I guarantee you, it was like guaranteed, and it was like a guaranteed contract, right?
Absolutely.
Where, look, we got to get a full season. I don't care what y'all do, you're going to commit. You're going to commit to showing us a full season. And I think that full season is all we're going to get because I can't see this catching on.
Jovon,
This first
like that
episode was
it's
so
going to be the
bad.
number one show on Saturdays at 3 p.m.
It's like that time travel show. When did they turn that off? After they had like the 4 p.m. slot
No,
on Sunday?
honestly, no, Timeless got they got
Oh,
screwed. I mean, Timeless was actually in my head. Timeless actually was competent, and then they're just like, yeah, we just have lost all faith in it. So y'all wrap this joint up in a movie. We don't
This is
give
why I
up.
watch NBC shows.
Yeah, we
All right,
do it.
well, fellas, I think that covered it.
That's
But
terrible.
just in case, does anybody have any other nominees for Dummies of the Week? Bro, why don't you start us off?
I am without dummy this week.
Okay, Gunner.
What?
I don't have anything other than the whoever thought La Brea was a good idea. I'm sitting here looking at these previews like this is gonna go the way of Knight Rider, the new remake, and Wonder Woman, the remake, and any show that was a joke on Sarah Marshall. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. It felt like one of those.
He had a sickle. Yeah. My dummy of the week is going to be the Big Brother cast if Xavier does not win this season. That is all. J. King, how about you?
My dummies of the week are Bill Cosby and his spokesmonkey for even daring to comment on the R. Kelly situation. You just got out. Shut up. Say nothing.
This is like OJ running around
need
like,
to say
hey,
something.
I have some thoughts on
Exactly.
things. Hey, Juice, just let it ride, player. Just let those naked gun
You write this
residual
book
checks
called
roll
If I
in.
Did It.
You just
Wow.
need to read all the rooms.
It's like Jorn Vandersloot. This would be like Jorn Vandersloot saying, you know, I don't think old boy who may or may not have killed that girl and his girlfriend, I think he's getting a raw deal right now. Shut up. Like, Bill, you just got out. Nobody, look, when they announced that he was going to try to go on tour after he got out, I was already like, dude, y'all, calm down. Just have some soup.
Right.
And
pound cake.
and
Eat some pound cake and shut the fuck up. Sorry.
man.
You got to bleep that one.
Yeah.
And just be quiet. You don't need to talk about this. Else they're going to find more people you may have drugged and throw your old bald-headed, blind, senile, one eye looking over here ass back in jail. Be quiet. Be
Read the
quiet.
room, Bill.
So that's my dummy.
Right.
Read the
That's
room.
a very good one. All right, well, fellas, there's nothing else to do here. We've got Married at First Sight, bro. We've got Big Brother
Yep.
and all kinds of craziness on Bachelor in Paradise to catch up on because a new episode came out. So, fellas, thank y'all as always for rolling. Thank y'all out there for listening. This episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been filed.